Fucking hoes and popping pills, man, I feel it's like a rock star. I've been fucking hoes and popping pills, man, I feel it's like a rock star. All my brothers got the gas and they always be smoking like a rock star. Fucking with me, call up on the Uzi and show up and then they shot down. And my homies pull up on your block and make that thing go grata-ta-ta. Switch my waking back in black and started saying rest in peace to Gone Star.
What is up, guys, and welcome to the 6th episode of my F1 2019 career. Today we'll be jumping into both the Austrian and the UK Grand Prix at Silverstone. But to start off the episode, we have got some contract negotiations that we need to get into, and I've got to admit, I actually screwed these up big time, really understanding myself. As you can see, the contract value that we signed versus our value is way underestimated. However, that isn't the only piece of business that we had for today's episode. We also had to pick our second rival. We did beat Devon Butler, and I wanted to select a new one, but I didn't want to go too hard, risk losing a bit of reputation, so I went quite soft and just went for the Haas of Roman Grosjean, a team that's really underperformed so far in this first season. I hope you guys do enjoy it. Do you guys drop me a sub if you haven't already? Let's get into the first race at Austria. So here we are at qualifying at Spielberg in the Austrian Grand Prix, one of the shortest races of the season, with quality times being around a minute 5, so you really want to be careful, really on the money, making sure every little bit of this track is to perfection. Now, I've got to admit, I was very excited to get this race, a race that I'm normally very strong at, and also a race that suits our car, especially the second and third sectors, where it suits a car that's quite nimble, good in the turns, and that's really exactly what the Mclaren is perfect for. And although it does also benefit some other teams, like so the Alfa Romeos in Quali 1, both got out for, I think, the first time probably in this season, so it does suit fast cars to an extent. It also does suit our car as well. However, Lando Norris, however, didn't see that benefit, going out in 19th in Quali 1. However, in Quali 2, we did have quite an easy route through to the final session, as with both Toro Rossos and both Alfa Romeos still in qualifying, left us with some quite easy options. And by the time we take out those four, only really one other driver was left to drop out, and that being Kevin Magnussen. As we got into the final session of qualifying, though, things started to heat up. The rain did kick in. However, we've underestimated ourselves. We are in fact the Rain Master, coming out on top, pole position for the first time in our career, ousting both Bottas and Hamilton to the top spot by 0.4 seconds, so a pretty big gap. So we're going to have a very exciting race in our hands to get into the Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Skip lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Gasly, Perez, Leclerc, Hülkenberg, and Daniel Ricciardo. Magnussen, Weber, Alexander Albon, and Raikkonen, Grosjean, Butler, Robert Kubica, and Lando Norris. Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid, and with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Here we are then for the Austrian Grand Prix. We're starting on pole. It's going to be a very tough race. 5 red lights. And the lights are out and away we go. It's a decent start off the line, but Valtteri Bottas has been particularly rapid with that Mercedes start. Our engine has managed to get us into the first corner. We're already down to P2. However, Hamilton and Verstappen fighting behind us is going to give us just that little bit of leeway that might help us on these first couple of straights, which is where we're going to particularly struggle in these first few laps, trying to fend as many as can as Hamilton makes a dive down the inside through turn 2. No, sorry, it's Verstappen actually, who'd already taken the 5-time world champion. We hold the position, keeping to the racing line, and we stick to P2 for the moment as we head into the second sector. We hopefully should be a fair bit faster, maybe with our qualifying pace, even gain a little bit of time on Bottas, or at a minimum gain away from the two top drivers that are right on our tail. as we swing through the left-hander now. Onto the third sector, Hamilton, sorry, it's still Verstappen, takes a dive, and we are forced wide, and now Hamilton gets the move off on us. We're down to P4 with that little screw up, and it's the German Sebastian Vettel right behind us now on the medium tyres, which may just give us a little bit of grace as we move on to lap 2 now. Of this very short lap, Hamilton Verstappen really scrapping for P2 right now. Up ahead, and Verstappen actually blocks out Hamilton and Lando Norris to make a move on the 5-time world champion. Round the outside in the second sector here, we slot into third position. That was an excellent move. We took the opportunity as soon as it came. We're up into P3 again. Hamilton though, he's taking another look as we come into the same position yet again that Verstappen made the move. We're going to try and hold it a little bit stronger, but he's just got that pace on us. As we come into the final couple of corners, we have one wheel in the bag, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think, for us to hold the position. And no, we do fall down into fourth, and we're just trying to save some engine and some ERS. We are going to have to defend actually from Sebastian Vettel here, but holding the racing line and with DRS, we'll be able to stick in this fourth position as we head onto the third lap. And now the fourth of the Grand Prix, Leclerc this time making an attempt on the soft tyres at least into this second corner. But again, we're holding it, sticking to that racing line is working really, really well for us. And come in on the 7th lap of the Grand Prix, we're still sitting in 4th position. Now this is a very risky strategy, particularly and with the undercut in this Grand Prix, because the thing is, it's such a short circuit that we have to be very, very careful we don't get caught up in the back markers, which should quite easily happen with a circuit of this length. However, it also means with this track this short, if we can get a rapid lap out, we may be able to gain some big time through this undercut. You can see Lando Norris here a long way back, just past us here, but so annoyingly you can see Albon and Giovinazzi last and second to last, fighting it out for the position. We just come up behind them and it costs us a bit of time. You can see heading to second sector here, sorry, we're completely boxed up, no room to get past. They're sitting side by side. It's almost like they don't want the underdogs to do well here. You can see as Albon slows down, we're trying to hunt for a way through, but it's not appearing. And also with the mediums versus the softs, we're just really struggling. But we make a move here on Albon, taking a peek, but we can't find any gaps quite yet, at least. And here we go, we're going to make the move now. We're a faster car than the Toro Rosso, so we should be able to pull it off as Hamilton did to us, and we do. We are up into 19th place there. You can see a couple of drivers starting to pit now on lap 8, so hopefully this hasn't cost us too much time. We're now going to push onto Giovinazzi with the DRS advantage. We're actually going to try and take it through the racing line. We feel like we've got that much superior pace, and we cut quite aggressively past the Italian, actually really giving him very little room but to break up. And you can see it has cost us big time. It's in lap 11, once all the pairs are done, we are down to 6th place. After scrapping with Hamilton, we're now back scrapping with our nemesis Sergio Perez for 6th place. Not where we want to be at all. However, lap 12, and it's a big thing that's happened. The race leader Valtteri Bottas is out of the Grand Prix with some kind of issue. By the looks of things, he's wheeled his car to the side. We're up into P5th, which will be our best result so far this season. However, sadly, not an exciting end to the Grand Prix. The final 6 laps, we gained away from Perez, who was fighting Gasly, but we just couldn't catch the Ferraris of Leclerc and Vettel. As what the fuck was I doing there? As Verstappen does go and take the victory. We do get 5th place finish, so a very strong result here. I did say the Austrian Grand Prix was good, and I was bang on the money.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So, the final result of the Grand Prix, Verstappen gets the win, followed by Hamilton and Vettel. I feel a little bit robbed there. Giovinazzi and Albon really screwed us. However, P5 just had a second ago. Still a very good result. The Hasses continue to make some headway, and we remain 8th in the drivers and 6th in the constructors with Renault. So yeah, 6th with McLaren, not Renault. We're not a Renault driver, are we? But we're only 2 points down, so it's very tight there. So here we are then, Silverstone, our home Grand Prix. Now before we get into it, I'd just like to quickly apologise. In the race, there are some audio issues, so I just had to stick some background music behind it and do the commentary. I made it slightly shorter than maybe the highlights. I mean, it's a real shame because it's an absolutely brilliant race when we get into it. But for now, we have got qualifying to kick into it. This is a very interesting circuit because again, it's very suited to the McLaren. Lots of turns, that kind of thing. Good for nimble cars, but this is a circuit that for me personally, I have never been a huge fan of. Also disappointed because obviously I'd love to do well at my home Grand Prix, but I've always struggled with it a little bit. You can see the quality 1 results there. The big shot probably Kevin Magnussen going out in quali 1. A bit of a surprise. Obviously, that has to underperform all year in race pace. But in qualifying, the Haas have not been up there, particularly K-Mag. So, on the one hand, very happy to see that, I've got to admit. But maybe on the other hand, worries that maybe we could be next to have some kind of problem as we get into the second sector of our quali through that, giving a little bit away there as we get into it. Lewis Hamilton setting the fastest lap there. I don't believe that is the final one, if I'm correct. We should do the second quality results. There they are. Grosjean out in quality 2. What we like to see, and myself and Norris both through to that final qualifying round. Exactly what we needed. A nice confidence boost and a fair chance for both McLarens to pick up some big points here. Norris has struggled since the Monaco Grand Prix, failed to pick up any points since, so he's really been hot and cold so far this season. And if I'm honest, I'd like a teammate like Sergio Perez who's absolutely smashing it. But as we come across the finish line, let's see where we end up. A little bit of swerve there. Going to cost us a bit of time, but we do come out in P9. Maybe not the position we'd love, but I'll take it at the end of the day. Lando in P10, meaning we both sit on the 5th row of the grid.
We're right back where it all began. The very first World Championship Grand Prix was held here at Silverstone in 1950, with Giuseppe Farina taking the top step of an all-Alfa Romeo podium. He earned 9 championship points that day on his way to the inaugural title. His winning total at the season's end, just 30 points. My, how times have changed. So let's see who can reach the top step of the modern podium today. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of the Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap 5 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest calendar. Minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Bottas, Max Verstappen, and Gasly, Butler, Ricciardo, Skip, and Lando Norris, Grosjean, Weber, Sergio Perez, and Hülkenberg, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Alexander Albon, and George Russell. Kubica and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Here we are then, 5 very silent red lights and a British Grand Prix in the Nitro. And away we go, off to a decent start off of the straight, but could have been better, could have been worse. We go wheel to wheel with Dan Ricciardo running very wide there into turn 1, and lucky not to swerve right into the Aussie. We're going to take a dip down curve 1. No, we are not. Curve turn 1. Ricciardo is sticking in 9th place at the moment. Decent start off to the Grand Prix. The Ferraris, no sorry, it's the Hamilton still sitting at the head of the race at this stage as we head onto the straight. Just it's a bit of a mess up there. Very messy through that turn. And Lucas Weber, who's already taken Norris, is now taking a go on us. We're down to P10 to kick off with. Can we take the move position back? Here we go. We're going to try and work all the way around the outside onto the inside, and this looks like could be a very good move. We swerve a little bit. Slight look up. We're playing pinball between Weber and Norris, who's taken us both, but he's gone onto the grass a little bit. Really, we had to take the position back. Ricciardo's long gone at the moment. Grosjean somehow up to P10. We've got a DRS issue, which you would hear if you could, but Grosjean behind us. It's a bloody good start in some respects, or exciting would be the more word than good, as Grosjean is right on our tail as we cut through the narrow S bends coming into the 3rd sector of the Grand Prix. It looks like it's Vettel and Hamilton leading the way up ahead, but hopefully we can defend here. Hopefully we've got enough of a gap, but obviously the pace of our car is still a little bit of a worry. We've already used a lot of our ERS up, but I'd really love to say if we're unable to, as Grosjean is making a move up the inside, and we're going to have to play it all the way around the outside. We're going to do just that, flying away, and Grosjean, you can still see those red arrows. They're still peaking. We're going to take a very defensive line, just cut the turn off, and there we go. It's Leclerc that must be in second, actually. The top 2 miles ahead. If you can't even see him on the mini-map at this stage, and Giovinazzi is out the Grand Prix as we head onto the 4th lap. Grosjean taking another peak after had a couple of laps of silent play. Ooh, very close to hitting there. Grosjean maybe a bit too aggressive for us, as if Grosjean has stuck with the run, which knowing Grosjean, I wouldn't have been surprised, could have caused a crash at that stage, but the Frenchman is able to pull the move off eventually. But looks things, unless we can try and do what we did to Weber again, but it doesn't look. We're trying to find the gap but he's defending the line very, very well. Trying to find those gaps, but he's swerving in and out just to block us out of the way. And Norris now behind us looking for that P10 spot on those points. With Weber in fact on lap 5 is going to make the move of, can we again pull the defensive move? We're going to try it again around the outside. I think we've done it for a second time. Weber, we're not letting him pass. He's not coming through. And we hold P10 for the moment, but things are going to continue to heat up as we get into the pit stops, which I believe are coming very, very soon. Weber is making a move up the inside. A great play from, I don't know where he's from. I think he's Austrian now. Think about it. I don't know where he's from. As we come to S-Ben's not going to find any gaps here unless we want to cause a big accident with one ride, meaning we're not going to be as close as we'd want to be when the DRS kicks in. And I think Weber may have that P10 sewn up here. We're going to be doing some chasing and hopefully a good undercut in this Grand Prix as we head in at the end of the lap for our pit stop, trying to gain as much time as you can. We shouldn't get the same issue with Austria as it's a very long circuit as we come out with comfortably in P19, but with some ground to gain here. We should get a fair bit of time. However, it doesn't go as planned as Weber is able to hold the position, stick in P15, or what is P15. We do get the move up on lap 8. We managed to get past him with the DRS, but that's not the end of the scrap. As we go for a tussle through lap 9, same position again. Weber pulls the move up for a second time. As we come into lap 10, Hulkenberg is ahead of us, meaning that Weber is what is going to be P10 once all the pit stops are completed. So, as we come into lap 12, 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix. We're trying to find it around the outside of Hulkenberg, and you can see we've run into the sand a little bit. A huge mistake, you can see now. Weber is the P10 position. We're going to make a dive in the last lap. Up the inside of Weber, we have to get this done, and we still can't. We look up, you can see the stereo just trying to keep the car on the track. We're going to have one final effort. Weber's been able to do it to us, but can we get past him through the S-Bends? And we do. We're up into P11 with about 45 seconds of race left over. We have a pretty poor turn on the exit, giving Hulkenberg a little bit of space. Hamilton does get the win in the Grand Prix. We're going to take one final dive on the inside. Here we go. Can we get it? No, we cannot. Hulkenberg holds the position. He's away. And on this final Grand Prix, it's our first time missing out on points so far this series. So that is a big loss. But I'm not too sure. I would have loved to do well at the home Grand Prix, but I always knew this was going to be a tough one. We literally run out of fuel as we reach the finish line, and we do finish in P11. We do beat our F2 rival Weber, and I do believe we beat Grosjean. Maybe we didn't actually. Now we didn't, like I said, P11 finish. Hamilton does get the victory. I'll leave you with the celebrations before we get to the points.
It's black and white. Just let me go. It's only right for all I know.
So at the end of the Grand Prix, Hamilton gets the win, followed by Leclerc and Bottas. Keeping things nice and tight. We have 2 title favourites of Hamilton and Leclerc, and only Grosjean actually gets best of the rest in P7. We remain in 8th in the standings. Gasly does overtake Perez, who had a poor race. We stick on 44 points after our first non-points finish so far this season. And in the constructors, we remain in 6th place. Renault gaining a little bit of ground. We're really scrapping with them for that P5 spot. We want to get in this top half at the end of the season. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Peace!
It's black and white.